Good morning and happy Sunday to you. You know, one of the things that I love about my Abba is that he is so very good at pulling threads and unraveling complicated things or things that are complicated to us. He knows everything. And, well, let me just dive in. In Genesis, the first time that we have record of him doing this, Adam and Eve had eaten from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and their eyes were opened, and they both realized they were naked, and fear got its hooks into them, and they used fig leaves and to cover themselves, and they ran and hid. So they had this habit of walking and talking with God every day in this perfect garden. And God comes along for their evening promenade, and they're nowhere to be found. And the first thread that he pulled, and he knew the answer to it, but he was walking them through the process and helping them to see how the threads would unravel and to trace each thread back to the truth. So the first thread, Adam, Eve, where are you? He knew. He was letting them say it, walking them through. And they said, well, we were scared because we were naked, and so we hid. Next thread he pulls. Who told you you were naked? He knew. Why they knew? He didn't have to ask that. He was walking them through the process of unraveling this mess. And he said, Did you eat from the tree that I told you not to eat from? Adam, well, the woman you gave me, she gave me some and I ate it. And so God turns to Eve. Eve? Is this true? Well, it was the serpent. He tricked me. God turns to the serpent. And all the truth comes tumbling out. And he walked them through every part of that process for their sake. And Abba has done the same with me so many times in the last 3 years. And I say 3 years because it was 3 years ago that I jumped off a proverbial cliff and chose to trust him with everything. And since then, life has not been the same. And one of those things that he has unraveled for me is something that had me stuck my entire life. Had me stuck trying to save people, trying to love them into wholeness, had me stuck in people pleasing, had me stuck trying to soothe others and not live my own life, had me stuck every time I heard someone's traumatic story. My immediate thing I would jump to is, oh, I can help, I can love them into being okay. I can do it. That automatic, well, that's what I do. And Abba asked me, who told you it was your job to love people into wholeness? And my response was, well, nobody told me. It's just always been that way, always. That's just who I am. And he said, well, let's go back. Let's look back. And so he began the process of walking me back in time, excavating trauma from my childhood to the origin story of where that formed. And I don't go into this origin story to cause harm. That's not my goal. Neither is it my goal to gatekeep secrets. I believe with all my heart that my life story, that Abba is using it and will continue to use it to guide other people and to be a light. And that's why I tell it. So back to unraveling that belief of mine of, well, it's just my job to love people into wholeness because it's up to me. Back to me as a kid. And my mom she had a hard life too, and she was pretty overwhelmed by a lot of things when I was a kid. And I remember she would leave sometimes, whether for a few hours or a day or overnight. She would leave because she needed a break. And this one time is branded into my brain. She left, and the day that was building to that, she was working so hard to get the house clean all day. And us kids were being kids, playing and making messes. And she had the house all clean, and we started getting out a bunch of toys again. And it was too much. It was too much for her. And so she called Dad to come home, and she left. And I remember my dad coming home and setting my brothers and I down in the living room and telling us, your mom is gone, and I don't know if she's ever gonna come back, and it's all your fault. Boom. A piece clicked into place in my child brain. Oh, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's all my fault. It's my fault when people leave. It's my fault when people are overwhelmed. It's my fault when people are angry. It's my fault. It's all my fault. Okay. That became a brick. It became part of my identity, so to speak. And so then add to that the times when my mom would leave, she would come back. And there were times when she would pull me aside and say things like, I took your dad's gun with me, and I almost used it. And I would have if it weren't for you. Because I know you love me. I know your brothers don't. They don't love me, but you do. Or, I almost drove off a bridge today. But I didn't. Same narrative. Boom, another piece clicked into place. Another piece of identity framed in my brain. Oh, not only is it all my fault, but it's all my responsibility. And look at that. She didn't die. She didn't die because I love her, and I can fix it. part 2 because my video cut short because I'm long-winded, I guess. But in my childish brain, that piece clicked into place. Those 2 pieces. Not only is everything my fault, but every person and their emotional well-being is my responsibility, and I can save them. I can, because I can love them enough. And that became the script. That became my operating system for the next few decades. Into this last abusive marriage that I was in, that was a culmination of all of it. But it was so loud and so in my face and so harmful that I could not, I couldn't keep from being able to see it. I finally saw it all, and the pieces started to fall into place, and Abba has been walking me through the unraveling. And so often we don't realize those things that happened way back there are running the show to this day, decades later. But that happens more than you might think. And I just want to remind you that Abba is just, he's the absolute best. He knows it all. He knows the exact place where the chains got attached, where false identity formed. He knows. And he will walk you back through and unravel each one in a process of grief and anger and so many different things you're going to feel as you go through it. But he will walk you through all the way back. And you can let him. It's safe. He loves you. And he knows that the best thing for you is to not continue to live in a false identity. To not continue to live with bricks that other people's pain handed you. You don't have to. And he will walk you through. Thanks for listening. Happy Sunday.